IQUNIX MQ80 or IQUNIX Magi75. This is the highly requested premium full aluminum low profile keyboard showdown that you've been waiting for. There's a $20 price difference between these two boards and some important differences in typing sound that you won't want to miss. Overall, these two boards are both fantastic and are extremely similar, which makes comparing them both easy in some ways, but also really challenging in others. But we'll go ahead and give it a go. Now, importantly, IQUNIX sent both of these keyboards over to me for review, but had no say in how I chose to cover them. If you decide you want to purchase either one, IQUNIX has provided you guys with code Cameron to save 5%, which is awesome. You can also find my review videos for each of these boards independently, plus affiliate links for purchasing and the coupon code details, all that good stuff down in the video description. And now with all that out of the way, let's jump into the comparison. Starting with build and design, there are a ton of similarities between these two keyboards. They both feature beautiful full aluminum cases and come in two different colors. Both models offer a black version and a white version. The accent colors on the MQ80 are red, with designs that make me think of sort of modern spaceship controls. The Magi75 uses more of an earthy tone that looks like an orangish copper color. It has an equally unique design, but not one that I have a good way to describe personally. Comment down below if you have an idea of what you would call this design. For the two colors, the black models wind up looking pretty similar, with both having black keycaps on a black aluminum case. The white versions have a larger difference between the two. The MQ80 has pretty stark white keycaps on a silver aluminum case, and the Magi75 uses more of a cream color with a matching off-white case. For size, the cases are nearly identical. The front height and back heights are the same, which means that the side angle is the same as well. The rubber feet on the bottom are also the same, and both have no adjustable feet to change the typing angle. There's only three real differences that I have been able to spot with the structure of these keyboards. First, the design on the bottom of the cases are different. Both are cool, just in slightly different ways. Second is the case width. The MQ80 is just a few millimeters wider thanks to some slightly extended side bezels, which include this removable red accent piece on the right and an RGB status light on the left. Finally, number 3 is a slight difference in how the components sit inside the case. The top plate on the Magi75 sits slightly lower down in the case compared to the MQ80. You can sort of see how it is not flush with the top of the case, but instead dips down just a little bit. As a result, the keycaps and switches don't rise quite as high out of the case. But we're talking about maybe a millimeter or so there's almost no difference at all. Despite it being such a small difference in height, this might have contributed to my reporting on one of these as 3 degrees of typing angle and the other one as 4 degrees in my review videos, but the reality is that they are so close that they're effectively identical in use. The actual angle is likely right on the border between 3 and 4 degrees, so we'll call it 3.5? I don't know. For the key layout, although the names of these keyboards use different numbers, they're both an identical 75% layout. They've got full function rows with identical controls, all your navigation buttons are present down the right-hand side, and up on top you have delete, insert, and print screen. The X key on the Magi75 is your delete key. There are 2 potential layout differences between these two models. The first comes if you go with the Magi75 Pro, which adds a sidebar with a high-quality volume knob, buttons for play, pause, forward, back, and mute, plus a storage compartment for the 2.4 gig USB receiver. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of the Pro variant, as I think that the space and weight trade-offs are not worth what you get in return, but everything is super high quality, so if you like the look and function of it, you won't be disappointed. The second potential layout difference is that the Magi75 is available in 2 different ISO versions, whereas the MQ80 is only available in this ANSI version. For the typing experience, surprise, surprise, there are more similarities. Same high-quality PBT keycaps, same hot swappable Kailh Gold Red linear switches, same gasket mount design. They're nearly identical in every way. The end result is very good in both cases. Their typing feel is essentially indistinguishable. If you were blindfolded, you'd be hard-pressed to identify any difference whatsoever using one versus using the other. Typing sound, on the other hand, does have some differences, but it gets a little bit complicated. In my review video for the full Magi lineup, I evaluated the Magi75, 75, and 96 models. The small 65% version, which has been around for a little while, sounded great, just like the MQ80. For some reason, the 75 and 96% models both had some rather strong metallic pinging when typing. This was not limited just to the stabilized keys, and it did not change when I swapped in different switches. So it appears to be something related to the internal build. Remember how I said that it sat down a little bit more in the case? I don't know if that's the answer, but maybe. I don't have a real definitive answer for why, but I did do a full breakdown on what I thought could be causing it in that full review video, which again will be linked down below if you want to hear more. For this comparison video, I have to do my evaluation and comparison based on the keyboards that are before me, and for that, I have to give the edge to the MQ80. The pingy sound truly does bother me when using this keyboard in a quiet room. Both of these keyboards had been off of my desk for a while now, since I've been testing and reviewing others on the channel. When I brought them back out to do this video, I was once again surprised by just how present the pinging sounds were. Now, depending on your ear, you may not care or even really notice, but for people who have an ear for detail or who are sensitive to off-putting sounds like a metallic springy ping, it could be a major detraction from the overall experience. Here is a demo showing, to the best of my ability, the difference in the pinging noises, followed by a regular typing test to see whether you can identify the difference. Now, bear in mind that the microphone should pick up the pinging when I hold it nice and close for that demo, but it generally doesn't really pick it up very well once it's further away for the full typing test. Based on the fact that the older MQ80 and the smaller and older Magi75 both use virtually the same components as the newer Magi75, it is totally possible that the pinging noises that I've experienced are simply a one-off with my board. However, since they were equally as present on the new Magi75 as on the new Magi96, I believe that there was a change internally to these newer boards that brought about this change. And as a result, the typing experience here overall gives a definite advantage to the MQ80 in my book. For functionality and features, there is almost nothing different here. So let's just run through these nice and quickly. You can fully customize either of these boards using VIA. There's north-facing RGB backlighting on both boards. Just remember that the MQ80 has that little side indicator light as well. Neither one has a power switch on the back, which is a little bit weird, but you can control power with function plus escape. You can connect to devices using Windows, Mac, iOS, or Android, and you can use the included 2.4 gig USB receiver that supports 1000 Hz polling, a direct wired connection that also supports 1000 Hz, and 3 Bluetooth 5.1 connections that each have 125 Hz. Both have a 4000 mAh rechargeable battery with a USB-C charging port located on the back left of the board. If I missed any other small features about these boards, they're probably also the same. For accessories, IQUNIX is known, at least in my book, for offering some of the best setups in the game. Perfect example, both of these keyboards ship in a travel case rather than in a regular retail box. Inside, you have lots of similarities. a keycap and switch puller, your 2.4 gig USB receiver, along with an adapter to bring it closer to your board to cut down on latency, keycaps for swapping between Mac and Windows. Then there are a few slight differences. The Magi75 comes with a few more fun keycaps to change things up, including two that are actually made of metal. The USB-A to C cables are both high quality, but the MQ80's is straight and has some metal tips on the end, whereas the Magi75 has a coiled design. Finally, the MQ80 includes a brush to help clean dust and hair out of your keyboard, and a plastic dust cover as well. These are both excellent accessory sets with just a few slight differences, which may or may not contribute to a decision for you. Now finally, let's talk pricing. The MQ80 is available for $160, a premium price for a premium board. That pricing is the same as the Magi75 Pro model, which includes that sidebar with the extra controls. If you opt for the regular Magi75, which is more of an apples to apples comparison between these two keyboards, the Magi75 is slightly cheaper at $140. So which one of these is right for you? Let's break down the key differences to help you decide. Starting with the MQ80, you have the spaceship-like design with those red accents. The white version is more of a stark white with a silver case. There's a slightly wider case to add in the accent piece on the right, as well as the indicator light on the left. Finally, there's the addition of the brush and the dust cover for accessories. For the Magi75, you have the option to either get the Pro version with the added controls on the side, or to save $20 over the price of the MQ80 by going with the regular model. The design features orangish bronze accent colors, and the white model is more of an off-white or a cream color. There is potential for some off-putting pinging sounds based on the board that I received and tested. You can get both ANSI or ISO layouts. And finally, there are some extra keycaps and a coiled charging cable for accessories. In many ways, there really is no wrong answer here. There are so many similarities that it's hard to objectively say that one is better than the other. For me personally, judging based on what I received, the pinging noises on the Magi75 would definitely push me to the MQ80. But if that difference was removed, I think I've got a slight preference for the look of the Magi75, especially the off-white version, which is pretty unique. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and don't forget to use code Cameron if you want to make a purchase. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.